By a show of hands, to the Philippines before? That's what I thought. My mom moved from the Philippines 25 years ago to the United States for a better life. And long story short, she met my dad, and now I'm here. My talk is on how culture shapes motivation, culture being the set of behaviors, attitudes, and traditions that exist within a large group of people that are changed from hand to hand as generations grow on. And motivation is a process that guides and maintains behaviors. So, the Philippines, I was 7 years old. See, a little bit younger self of mine. And I got to meet my extended family. So when I first walked off the plane, I was not only greeted by my family, I was actually attacked. They all ran up and hugged me, pinning me down to the tarmac floor. As you can imagine, 10 kids laying me down, like all hugging me at the same time. So when I first met everybody, they're the more traditional side of my family. They, as a cohesive group, respect each other a whole lot more than what I've seen in the United States. They eat dinner together every single night. They eat breakfast together every single morning. They spend more time together as a family than they do outside of the house. Why? The Philippines, as described by Church in a 1986 study, says that the culture of the Philippines, they focus more on the interrelationships between people rather than on themselves individually. So people are more likely to change their own behavior to fit the expectations of another person. And my family, being Filipinos, exhibit this quite well. When I went on my second trip to the Philippines, I stayed in the more Americanized section of Manila. So there were McDonald's in every Starbucks every block or so, and Pizza Hut and it delivered. And what I realized in those areas where people were more Americanized, they spent more time outside of the house and they spent inside with their families. They rather focus on themselves than focus on them as a collective group. And it affected their motivation. And my favorite trip, where I actually got to see the whole country as a whole, was because I'm in a Filipino instrumental group called the Eskwela Hung Filipino Rondallia of Boston. In 2013, we as a group performed a 30-song set around the country, doing about 21 shows in 20 days. And we performed for the president of the country. We performed for kids in churches, in big venues, small venues, from all around the country. And it was really eye-opening to see how people's cultures changed not only within a social group, but within a country. People in the North, where there's more Americanized influences, act differently than those in the South, where Americanization has not yet reached them. So, as you can see here, this is me with my instrument, where the guys holding the guitar-like objects, and the students of CLSU University in the Philippines. And we were really privileged at this show to sit down and discuss the cultural differences between ourselves and our Filipino counterparts. And as we got talking, we realized that we weren't as different as we originally thought. We both like, as a group, we like to spend time on ourselves, we like to spend time with our family. The American students, we like to spend more time out of the house than inside the house. And the Filipino students said that they like to spend more time inside the house than outside the house. And as we got to talking more and more, we realized that it was our culture that shaped this. So now we move on to today. So studies show that Asian American immigrants from foreign countries are more motivated within the classroom than their white peers. Why? Because, as I said earlier, in the Asian culture, people are more likely to change their own behavior to fit other people's expectations. So students, they want to fulfill their parents' expectations of becoming better in school, doing better than their peers. So students stay home, they study more, they review on their exams, and they make sure that they want to appeal to their parents' expectations rather than going out, having fun, watching movies, etc. Also, studies show that Asian American students are more likely to listen to commands of their parents rather than commands of themselves. So if, let's say my mom says, Nathan, go clean the house, I am more likely to clean the house than me go Wii or the Xbox. Reason being is that when parents move over here from the United States, to the United States, they bring their cultures with them. And in my case, and my mom, so on and so forth. So, where am I going with this? So as I said, with my mom coming over from the Philippines, she brought everything with her, and it impacted me. I mean, today I'm up here talking, giving a TED Talk in formal Filipino regalia, talking about my heritage, and my mom actually motivated me. She was there with all my notes. She's saying, put this story in there, talk about this, and we're talking back and forth, and it was really awe-inspiring to get her opinion on everything. So, when we all come from unique areas, we all have our own things that make us who we are. It's our culture. It's what motivates us to go do good in school, do well in the workplace, what have you. So appreciate it, because it makes you, you. Thank you.